Alright, let's try this again. Probably still not gonna work because for whatever asinine reason, but let's hope we can maybe get something out of this. Hello my friends, so I'm kind of in a weird sort of place when it comes to microphone sound. If you're listening very carefully, you're going to hit this moment where you're like, wow, my left side sounds weird. Yes, it does. Now, I've tried to figure out what the frick is going on because my microphone just randomly decided to switch. And so the left side is now a little louder than the right side, which after a while can really be grating on the ears. If you're watching a laptop right now, that your fix is kind of easy. All you have to do is go into your sound settings and hit your sound from dual channels to mono. Now, before I get comments about you can just change that for your microphone, I can't. My microphone has no option whatsoever on my laptop to go from 2 channels to 1. So it might be I might have to invest in some sort of sound box as like an in-between. Maybe when I go back home and I actually hook this up to my desktop, that issue will disappear. But as of right now, these last couple videos, really for anime particularly, are gonna have that really uneven sound. I'm sorry about that. It's just my voice that'll be uneven. The footage for the anime will be normal as usual, but my voice is gonna be a little bit uneven. I've tried adjusting the settings. I've tried doing the volume for the mic a little bit lower. I've adjusted the mic. Instead of having it like kind of like this, I have it like this. I have it properly facing me, so the back is at the back because it's kind of a one-sided side. So I'm kind of that, but I don't know why, and I think I probably should invest in something that's a little bit of the softy thing that covers the whole mic, not just half of it, because the cover I have is for a different mic. But I don't think I still think it's gonna fix the kind of weird dual side that I just decided I'm just gonna suddenly do that, which is so stupid. But again, until I can get back home, I have no idea how to fix this problem. There's no option to do 1 channel for the input. It is what it is. It's very frustrating, but at least I found something that could, maybe fix that. In terms of trying to make the sound from dual to mono, I don't think there's an option in terms of your phone or your iPad or tablet. If there is, it's really great, but I don't know if there is. So I am sorry about that for those of you who are watching on a phone or something. My hope is, again, that when I get back home and I'm on my desktop, that maybe it's just something weird connection with the laptop and that'll disappear. If not, I'm going to have to find another way to troubleshoot. Some say it might just be a weird cord thing, and it makes sense. My problems really didn't start happening until I started unplugging my cords and putting them away. Usually I would just keep it plugged in and sitting on my desk, but when I got a new roommate, I didn't know what to expect, what kind of person they were, so I started unplugging them and putting them away in the drawer. So I think somewhere along the way something got knocked into or tapped, and I think that's what caused the problem. So I might have to do a little bit of extra cleaning when I come back home, and maybe it might be just a funky connection issue. And sometimes that is the problem. Technology isn't perfect. It's going to degrade. It's going to have problems. So, yeah. Anyway, we're about to dive into episode 4. Yeah, episode 4 of My Hero Academia. I am excited to be diving into that. The first handful of episodes have been pretty crazy. Episode 1 was kind of boring a little bit, but that was because it was a filler episode, and it felt like a filler episode of original material. Didn't feel like something, I guess it was different, I think was last season. Last season is that the filler episode didn't feel very fillery, but this time it really, really did. So, excuse me. So that's why I was a bit of a critique on that, but obviously episodes 2 and 3 were definitely new material from the manga because it felt like it was strong, it was plot moving, it was good. And now we're gonna dive into basically Class A versus Class B, which I'm really, really excited for. My laptop fan just kicked on. Because we don't get enough of Class B. They're fun, they're funny, their quirks are really, really cool, just like Class A's is. But while Class A has been forced to kind of do these big jumps of kind of growth over time, Class B has been allowed to quietly grow and grow and grow because they've been able to work through their course material pretty consistently. Which is the reminder is that, which is cool because it's a reminder that people think that it takes these big traumatic events to grow as a person or grow as a hero. It doesn't. Because the Class B has the same drive and willingness Class A does, but they've been able to stick to their proper training material, they've been able to grow really well and consistently. And so while Class A was able to make these leaps and bounds, it's basically like Class A, I'm going to try to do it, it was kind of going like this, while Class B was like really consistently, and they've kind of met the same point. So arguably, they've reached a point where now Class B is a major competitor if they were competing. Well, in this case, they are. Also, Shinso, after his showcasing at the sports event, got the chance to work with, got the chance to be mentored under Aizawa, which is perfect because, and a lot of what he has is very, at least in terms of the material he has around his neck, has been kind of inspired by Aizawa, because Aizawa has a similar power than him, is that his power really only works on organic people. Not material in terms of organic carbon base, but more if he can only work with living things, with quirks. And even then, it shows that even he has some limitations in terms of what his quirk can do. So when it comes to dealing with and battling, robots, it's not really helpful that much. Which is part of the reason why Aizawa has his little, has the material, his little cloth things. Shinso has the same thing, but what's also really cool is Shinso has this thing that he can put around his mouth that can help him enhance and use some of the other tricks that he's been learning and growing over time. Because I'm sure if he's been mentored by Aizawa this whole time, which Aizawa has been crazy busy. Because Shinso obviously been taking his class with his teacher, but he's also been mentored by Aizawa. Aizawa has had to deal with the insanity of what Class A is going through and him getting injured. Also, he's been probably in some ways been carefully watching over Iri. So that man's schedule is crazy full. Good grief. So, it's for a person, it's funny because when we first met him, he's like sleeping all the time and he comes across as so lazy. But he's just tired because he's so busy. And the man like goes. But it's always in the background, kind of like quietly. Which is really cool to see. But I am very excited for Shinso to showcase kind of also his growth that we really haven't gotten to see. And it's been really cool. And I know we focus on Class A, but it's nice to get kind of a break from Class A to enjoy Class B or Shinso or some of the other schools and what they've been working on. That's been really enjoyable and nice. Gives us a breath of fresh air, like, okay, we can relax away from Class A a bit and focus on some other characters who haven't gone through the same trauma Class A has, literally trauma, with Class B having a little bit of an experience with that, but with the summer camp thing, getting kind of dragged into it because of Class A. But, I don't know, it's been really, really cool to see kind of their growth. But I am very excited for this season. We're going to get a lot of Todoroki family issues and kind of just the beginning of what would hope be is genuine reconciliation and healing. And it's going to take a lot of work and a long time for it because it's decades of abuse that Enji has put on his family. And so he's going to have to deal with those consequences of that and working through that. And some people are going to... And even though the daughter seems to be a bit more... because she's the oldest and a bit quicker in terms of, or I think she's the oldest, maybe she is, and maybe Toy is, even though she seems more quick to forgive, so to speak, she really hasn't forgiven Enji at all, but she is kind of, it's typical for a lot of girls, she tries to be the peacemaker of the family. I'm sure once the mom was gone, she probably, through either being told to or inadvertently, kind of stepped up as the mom of the family. And so she feels a certain level of peacemaking she has to kind of create. That doesn't mean that she's forgiven her dad. She probably hasn't. She's still holding on to a lot of things. But whereas with most cases with boys versus girls, boys tend to be more aggressive, girls tend to be more passive aggressive. Obviously there's exceptions to that. But with her, she's probably dealing everything on the inside and not really dealing with it, just for the sake of her family, while the boys are kind of being allowed to express, at least with the second oldest. And of course, Todoroki's going to deal with things his own way, because he has his own unique relationship with the dad, because he was what Enji always wanted, half ice, half fire. And we also are going to have to deal with like Hawks and kind of his thing with being kind of playing the League of Villains, but also with the unbeknownst to Todoroki. And then of course, it looks like this season we're going to focus a lot on Shoto and Deku and Kachin and their growth. And then I think Todoroki or Shoto and Kachin should be getting their license soon, because they probably have passed their schooling. Basically, they passed the thing that they needed to pass in order to finally get their license versus the others. Anything else to say? No. I'm really excited. This episode's titled "Make It Happen, Shinso," so we're gonna get to showcase Shinso, what he can do, which is pretty freaking awesome. But it looks like all the way up to episode. Yeah, so pretty much this first half of the season, we're really going to draw out and kind of really get to focus on the back and forth and the brawls and sort of the training between Class A and Class B, which is pretty freaking cool. So all this is going to be, of course, during one day, but we're dragging it out. Same thing with the licensing exam. It was one day, but we drug it out for a while. And probably we're dragging it out to take a breather, because we're building up to what will probably be a very intense, kind of crazy second half to the season. So season 4B was very light, and even the villain wasn't even too terrible in villainy. We just know that what the problem was that his actions would have caused some major repercussions and problems for the school and for other people, even though his goal was simply to get into the school and get out, but it would have caused major repercussions, which is why Deku took it so seriously. But season 4B was very light and fluffy as a way to kind of breathe from the heaviness of 4A. Lunch just finished. Whereas season 5A seems it's lighter because we're focusing on students, but we're also dealing with other behind the scenes stuff. All the noises, now they got sirens. I don't know if since 5A isn't as lighthearted as last half the season, maybe the idea is that the second half of the season might not be as heavy as 4A, but it'll still be heavy. But again, what I kind of appreciate is it's kind of this flow that happens. And I do appreciate that from the manga writer, is that we get to kind of get the ebbs and flows of life. We have really light, fun, and fluffy times. We have really heavy moments, and serious times. And of course, some of these storylines, like with the licensing exam and this, it's really one day being stretched out. Which is why I'm like, my goodness, we are on season 5 and we haven't even finished our first year of high school. This is ridiculous. But sometimes they have episodes that will jump major months, major amounts. So I don't know how many episodes. We're almost to the end of the season. So we're 19 episodes in as of right now recording this. So we're not quite at the end of the season yet. But my hope is at least we'll finish our first year of high school by the end of the season. But if the rest of the series keeps on the same pacing, we could go for over a decade of a series. This could have a really long longevity, just like Naruto had. Except Naruto has, with the exception of instead of like constant episodes and tons of filler episodes, we'll have a chance to have a little bit less filler. But anyway, I've droned on way too long. I'm sorry about the weird funky sound. Again, if you're on a computer, set it to mono. If you have a phone or anything else, I don't really know how you can kind of fix that. I'm sorry. I do apologize for the screwiness. I don't know how to fix it. The good news is that the episode footage is pretty even, and hopefully it'll help balance out my loud, obnoxious voice. In the editing, I'll try to fix it as much as I can, but there's only so much I can do. I am sorry. Anyway, without further ado, I've drawn on long enough. Let's dive right in. So I totally had a moment earlier where this part was playing, which was part of the previous episode, which sometimes I know they do that, but I was confused for a hot second, and I was like, wait, no, I'm playing the wrong episode. Am I? And I had to like fast forward a little bit to like, oh wait, no, this is the right episode, but I was so confused. That guy's such a jerk. I'm kind of amused that Aizawa got to him before Kendo did. He is a lot like Aizawa, like the circles under his eyes, the way he is, his hair even. I like the length of his hair though. The other intros are cute, and this one's nice, but I still much prefer the Make My Story one. It's just a bit more of a bop. Trying to adjust the volume. It is funny, like how people's costumes like have really changed or kind of changed. I think again, what I love about Sugarman's designs, I forget his real name, is it remind is and I forget the name of this anime. It's that wrestling anime. I forget what it's called. I watched as a kid on Fox Kids. I watched that. I watched Kirby. I think I watched the Sonic show. There were a lot of really cool shows on Fox Kids. They would like replay the Spider-Man anime cartoon. I think X-Men maybe sometimes played on it. No, I'm in WB though. Okay, and then we did establish, of course, by now that that's All Might in the yellow, but he's fuzzy for some reason. I don't know if the ones that are fuzzy because they're still alive, or they just didn't have a strong spiritual connection to the others. Like, is it just me, or has Shinso's voice gotten deeper too? Certain level of shock. I need to be weak in that way. Hmm. Oh, cool. Oh, so it's the his voice modulator that changes. Oh, okay. So his voice sounds weird. Guys, just me or Sue's voice sound really deep? I'm about to find out. Chishida. It is really cool. Adjusting it more. That's really cool. I'm excited for Shinso. What's cool is obviously he's the kind of person. Oh, he wasn't used to that. And that's probably weakened his connection. Now the hope is that he'll. Ooh, ow. Ooh, got her. Okay, so let me focus here. Okay. So he actually hurt his arm, but the shock, I would say that, yeah. He's a tough dude. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. Wow. That's the quality of air is very fascinating. Cool. If look into the science of like how air pressure and all that. So he just had to like increase the pressure. That's all. Because obviously the pressure is hard, heavy enough, and hard enough to be able to create a literal wall. Buggies. Ooh. Oh, he's. Oh. So he made himself shrink doing that. Oh, he can go back and forth pretty quickly too. That's really impressive. I love the sunglasses. That's really cool. Oh no. I like how all of them are sitting. It's covering his mouth. Oh, that's cool. He can smell them. That makes sense. Very beast-like. What if he's covering his mouth because maybe Coda can maybe kind of control him? Beaten by a plant girl. She is very powerful. It's really cool. Oh gosh. Yeah. They are, which is cool. I like Vlad. He's kind of funny. Yeah. No, he can't. He's not used to it. He's probably at his best when he's out of range of the fight. Because he's not ready to be in the range of the fight yet. Oh, his shoulder. Oh, that's cute. Oh, he's so embarrassed. Oh. What is this girl? She's Christian, she's weird. I like his design, it's kind of cool. Oh, he's going by smell. She put some of her stuff on all of them so they would confuse her sense of smell. She's so crazy cool, man. Ah, we're halfway. Oh, of course. Shinso also likes cats, like Aizawa. And he is a rare blood type too, AB. Dang. July 1st, so his birthday would have been this past summer. It's really cool. I wish I could know what centimeters are to inches so I could actually have a good idea of how tall people are. It's nice to focus a little bit on Shinso, but yeah, he's the guy's been working out. He's got bigger, his voice sounds a little deeper, but that's because maybe I haven't heard his voice in a while. He also likes cats, of course. I'm looking forward to when his affiliation changes from UA High School General Studies to Hero. I love that. And I would also really love it to... Quick question. I'm not quite sure how exactly high schools in Japan work. Now, if you're in class A, for example, do you stay with the same kids all the way up through high school? Or if you're in, or is it in your next year of high school, you might switch classes, like you might switch homerooms. Like maybe in the following year, class A and B would be mixed up and they would have different classmates, or do you stay with the same exact people all the way up to high school? I'm just curious about that one. Anything else to say? No, that's not really it. Let's keep going. This is really cool. But I like the Vine Girl is so crazy powerful. You know, I think Shishido is powerful in his own way, but obviously he has a weakness, and I'm sure she does too. But I'm trying to figure out the only way to take her down would be with Shinso, because we know that Kaminari has a hard time dealing with her. And Tsu might be a worthy opponent of her. Can she stun people with her tongue? I can't remember if she can do that. Because there are some frogs that, because of the bacteria or something in their tongue, they can stun people. Or they do that with bugs, but I can't remember if she could do that. So my guess the only person who could really stop her would be Shinso, unless she has a really strong will. Which that'd be really cool to see. I don't know. She's very cool. I like her. But some of the things she says, I'm just like, why are they making her say that? Okay. Like hamburgers. That. She covered them with her stuff. I'm just forgetting the word for it. 20 meters, that's a long. 20 meters is long. Oh, the mucus. That's what I was looking for, mucus. Yeah, toxic. Yeah. And because it's toxic, I think she can stun people. Oh. Oh, thank Hatsumi. My baby academy. What is this? Yeah, we'll just think of the brains. Sue is very level headed, she's very observant. Oh, that's his little thing where the pointers. No, she has to go against our Vine girl. Ooh. Look at that. Ooh, a little bit of the 3D stuff. That's kind of crazy. Via Del. Oh, that's cool. Apocalypse Beast. Geworden. Dragon Shroud. Was she interpreting that then as Apocalypse Beast? Apoco Beast. What's with this music? Faith Shield. She's really cool, actually. Dang. Right through the holes of the vines. Oh, that's really cool. What he could do. You got beat, buddy. Oh, he shot his scales. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that also explains some of his design too. I told you the only way to get her would be Shinso. I was saying, it's not Shishida. It's her. She was the most dangerous component. Oh, kind of like with Hawks and his feathers. Takes a while to replenish. She like and they mm, this is cool. This is really cool. And Sue can be. She's a force to be reckoned with. Bye bye. She's out cold. Eventually he'll run out of scales, won't he? Been severed. Ooh. His reaction time was really good, though. Ah, okay. So he's having a one-track mind towards Shinso. And he's breathing in with his mouth, which he might be able to get more scent and more accurate scent that way. And he hasn't even got much training either. Ooh, so cool. He's not replying. Nice! I'm very proud. Oh, bonk. Good for him. So Aizawa's gonna the one that's gonna teach him how to use that cloth. Like, oh! And you know what's also really cool? Boom. Apoco Beast. Oh, that's how we knew it was the right person. They got the name right. Oh, sorry about that. She apologized. But also what's really cool is that that machine covers his mouth. So you also can't tell if he is the one that's speaking or not. Hmm. What'll be great to see is how much he's learned by fighting with Class A against Class B. Will feed into how fast he takes things in when he's fighting with Class B against Class A, especially with Deco involved. It's a rematch. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just cool. No, his voice has always been that kind of deep. It's cool. Oh, that was kind of sad. A little bit, but he's made a lot of leaps and bounds on his own. You did a good job. Really good job. Oh, he's so proud of him. Vlad is so mad. Outro. Okay, I figured Vlad's so mad. Yeah. But they did a good job, and Class B actually did an amazing job against them. Um, there's really anything much to say. No, I think what kind of helps is that they did know Shinso's strength and power, but they also there's a lot about their class and they don't know, and that's kind of part of the training here is that you are going to encounter villains that maybe you know almost everything about their quirk. And then class, any person who came from UA, for the most part, people are going to have a vague idea of their powers and their abilities. And even then, as they're out and about as heroes, people are going to learn more and more about their powers. Kind of like, more so One Punch Man, when they had those books of heroes and what those heroes could do. I'm sure there's something very similar as a way of marketing. Like, here's these heroes and here's what they can do. And I bet even weaknesses are involved as well. And as it's a way of kind of like a cool like marketing thing, like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm sure there's card games of like heroes versus heroes and something like that. I'm sure that exists. Kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon version, but with UAP heroes. Is that a real game? That'd be really cool if it is, and like they should do that. They should get on that right now. But you are going to be dealing with villains who you don't know much about their quirk, and they might know almost everything about you, which is why it's important to have sort of, you know, sneaky parts of your quirk. Oh, is Momo going against Kenda? That's always cool. Ooh. And I do have to say, I think it is important for class. Ooh, wow. Tokiyama's been working out. Jeez. Okay. I do think it's really important that eventually we can't have Class A win everything. Okay. Okay, we can't have Class A win every single fight or every single back and forth. Like, no, we can't have that happening. It just statistically shouldn't be happening like that. Oh, my earbuds kind of got weird. So they can't win every fight. They can't. They just can't. If they did, that's very impressive. But there's a lot about Class B they don't know and they don't understand. And so, again, they have been training and focusing for a long time. And yes, there's a lot about Class A that Class B won't know. But I do think, statistically speaking, I don't think Class A is going to beat every team they are on, because there's going to be weak parts of it. Oh, excuse me. I am kind of excited of a Momo versus Kendo thing, just because I think they've clearly, because they interned together, they've probably become pretty good friends. And so it's kind of fun to see sort of like these friends like compete against each other. It's kind of cute to see. So, I mean, that's kind of a lot of fun. Is there anything else to talk about or mention? No, not as much. This episode was fun. It was great to see Shinso shine, and Deku was right. Shinso was able to shine in a lot of ways because of the support of his team. Same thing with, I would argue with Deku. Deku is able to shine in a lot of ways because there are moments where Class A makes him shine, allows him, and that's kind of what they are trying to do, is that they all have strengths and weaknesses. So being part of a team, not only do they learn how to work with other heroes moving forward, but also they learn to cover each other's weaknesses and then create situations to help their strengths surely shine. And that's excellent teamwork. What's also interesting is we're kind of seeing how sort of there's no real team leader in any of these fights. It's not like, okay, here's the leader of this team, here's the leader of this team. They're all on the same footing, the same ground, and that's really true of what we see in the past is that these heroes, there's not like, there's people who might lead the investigation. There are people who are the ones who know the most about it, but when it comes to, there isn't a hierarchy that you may be in a certain ranking in terms of heroes, but that doesn't mean the person higher ranking is better than you, or that they have more authority than you. You're all kind of on the same footing. So that's kind of interesting to see, is that, you know, you're all heroes, you're all equal here in a sense of authority and perhaps even ability. So you have to be able to push each other and strive each other. And all of them have a lot of leadership qualities, but you also kind of get to see personality-wise, different people take charge at different aspects. So we see Shinso able to kind of take charge a little bit, but not quite there because he hasn't gotten the experience yet. Sue, because she's so level-headed and calm, and she really is observant, almost that rivals like Deku's level, that she's able to take charge in some other ways, and that allows them to work as a team together, feed into each other, and then move forward. So in a lot of ways, when you do see the leaders that happen, these leaders aren't people who are just arbitrarily picked. These are kind of people who naturally, through personality or because they know a lot or they've been leading the investigation, they kind of naturally come out as leaders. And a good leader serves who they're working with, so they kind of also encourage the other to take leadership. There's not, except for Kachin, because he's a pain in the butt and because his personality is the way it is. There is a nice kind of, I was going somewhere with this, balance of who gets to be in charge. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with this. I lost my train of thought like that. point is, Shinso did a very good job. All these characters are really cool, and it's cool to see potential heroes and be like, oh, that's cool, that person can work with this person, that person can work with that one. And it's also great to see it doesn't, your quirks don't have to complement each other. You don't have to be like fire with ice or blah 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 blah, but things that you would typically complement. Like, look at those teams, none of their quirks really go together with each other, but that's not the point. The point is you're going to be working with people who have very different quirks than you that in some ways could be in the way or could be really helpful. And so they really have learned to not only maximize what they can do as an individual, but they can also learn as a group how we can even more maximize our chances of success. And just because of, I think in the end what really was helpful for them was having Sue. They were so focused on Kaminari that they missed what Sue could do. And they don't know her well enough to know that she's very level-headed, that she's a great leader just naturally. And how she thinks and how she processes things. That's what makes her really, really good. And Momo's a lot like that too. We've seen her get flustered and overwhelming, but she's being able to work through her insecurities, and by doing so, she's kind of come forward more so as a leader. And so we see people by their personalities being able to kind of move forward into more of a leadership role naturally, not just arbitrarily. But I'm really excited for the next fight. I'm excited to see what Kendo can do. I know what Kendo can do, but I'm excited to see it in a new setting. I'm excited to see like Momo versus Kendo because they're so cute and I like them a lot, and they're cute friends. And it's fun to see characters who have created a sweet bond together go against each other in class, because it just creates really fun storylines. But there's a lot more to go, and I've drowned on long enough. I know, I'm sorry about the microphone thing, and we'll do my best to try to fix it when I go back home, which will be soon. As of right now, it's Monday, which means I should have had these, videos, edited early. Anyway, I'm gonna try to move as fast as I can with these videos, I'm sorry, and get things done as quickly as possible, and get them posted as quickly as possible. And then I'm excited to go back home. Hopefully, not only can I get my microphone issues dealt with, gosh, but also my hope is that I also bought a photography kind of setup thing so I can have a blank background, not green because no one's gonna fall for that one. That way I can kind of have a nice simple background and it won't be kind of filled with a lot of stuff. And I think having this blank white wall behind me while I've been here in my internship has been incredibly helpful for me, so that way my camera doesn't go out of focus that much. And it also is very helpful too if I wear color and something with that helps it focus, on my pale face. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time.